Maness is going to make flyweight coming up this weekend is beyond me. He might show up with half an arm or a quarter of a leg. He's going to have his first fight at flyweight. And for Nate Maness, I mean, you look at it, he's the former Warrior FC lightweight champ, the former HRMMA featherweight champ, the former TKO in Quebec, Canada, bantamweight champ. Guys, I don't know how he's going to do it. And I say all of this, and maybe it changes, so I'm going to throw it up as proof on the screen. UFC stats, Tapology, Twitter, the internet, they all say this fight's going to be at flyweight. Nate Maness is a tall, thin guy at bantamweight, and then I tried to rack my brain. Well, who is the tallest flyweight in UFC history? The only one that I could come up with, Matt, you don't like him, but I did, was Ulka Sasaki. He was 5'10 at flyweight, and Nate Maness is going to be 5'10 at flyweight. So Maness is going to be really, really big, have a height advantage, have a length advantage on a lot of these guys in this division. And for Tagir Ulanbekov, that's normally his calling card. Exactly. Length, size, reach. He took on Tim Elliott his last time out. Most people thought Ulanbekov won it. Now, Tim Elliott knocked him down in the first round with an overhand right. Tim Elliott, I mean, in quotes, the glove is part of the hand post-fight. So the glove is part of the hand. Yeah, I grabbed it. Sure, I grabbed it. I like that he admitted to it. But for Tagir Ulanbekov, I got to say, folks, I've had a bad read on him in the UFC. I picked his fights wrong, and I'll tell you why. I don't think of him as highly as a lot of other people do. I go back, you look at the record, he fought a great level of competition coming into the UFC. He was a GFC flyweight champ, he was a Fight Nights Global flyweight champ. He had the win over Vartan Asatryan, you gotta get the win.
And he's been a guy, if I may, who really has given the benefit of the doubt for the odds makers from the get-go in his UFC debut.
Trust me, I'm gonna talk about it.
Okay, perfect.
He lost to Zhalga Zhumagulov, lost his belt in 2018 by majority decision. So in the UFC, Matt, you alluded to it. Fights Bruno Silva, he's a minus 500 favorite. Wins by unanimous decision. It was a very close fight.
I thought he won, to be fair, but it was a close fight.
He's a minus 400 favorite against Alan Nascimento, won by split decision. I thought Alan Nascimento won. He loses to Tim Elliott. He's a minus 235 favorite. I thought he had a pretty good case that he won that fight. Now, for the man himself, for Tagir Ulanbekov, was booked this summer against Tyson Am, out due to injury. He gets Nate Maness. For Nate Maness, I don't know, when you fight guys in the UFC like a Kid Kvenbo, Johnny Munoz Jr., you beat him, close fight. You beat Luke Sanders, it was a huge comeback. He gets a bonus for that one. You beat Tony Gravely where he got knocked just about dead to rights at the end of the first round. It's a what was it, a shovel hook, I think he got knocked out by in the first round. He kind of comes to his senses. Second round, he's getting beat, and then all of a sudden, he lands his own knockout blow, ground and pound, finishes Tony Gravely. Then they put him up against, like, Umar Nurmagomedov. Okay. When you signed to fight Nurmagomedov, you know, listen, I mean, Nurmagomedov was a minus 950 favorite. Then they're like, here, fight his teammate Tagir Ulanbekov.
Okay. You remember when you're growing up in every science class you took in high school or university, you had to take WIMIS training?
I did, yeah.
And after you did it the first time, you knew all the answers. You did the same test year after year after year, basically. It was all the same thing, which to make sure you didn't blow up the whole classroom with chemicals, basically. You know how in that test there was a part and it was to do with the triangle of fire. It was oxygen, fuel, and ignition. In the UFC, there's a very similar triangle, and I would call it Damon Jackson, Julian Erosa, and Nate Maness. They all kind of fight in the same way. Like, they're going to be that volume striker who's going to force you to go into uncomfortable takedown attempts, who are really going to take advantage once you do show those negatives in your striking game. And I understand Nate Maness isn't necessarily on the level of those two previous fighters. I do think Erosa and Damon Jackson are like borderline top 15 fighters, and even the flyweight division, Nate Maness also is. But Maness shows a lot of those similar characteristics where it's, hey, I'm going to really pressure you, try to force out negative takedown attempts from you, and then once you do that, I'll try to cinch up a neck, an arm, just any limb that is available. Because for Maness, I think there is a world out there where the weight cut does go well for him, where he looks good at the weight class, and if that is the case, like, there's some guys who are in trouble, Craig. Like, he's gonna maul them, take them down, submit them, be so much bigger than them that there's not much of an option. And I do like how you open this video, because it is a good point. Tagir Ulanbekov normally does enjoy the luxury of being the much bigger fighter in the flyweight division. Now, against Nate Maness, if he is successfully able to make the weight without any huge detriments to the without any huge detriments to the rest of his game. I was like Brendan Schaub with that. Then Maness could have.
Nice. Don't make fun of him.
Sorry, I'm the one who messed up, not him.
He's a comedian.
I
Go
tell some
ahead.
jokes. Maness could have success with his game plan. I think we could both agree there. But the problem is, I don't know how Maness ends up on top in this matchup, and that's the problem I do end up having. I think on the bottom, he can be an active fighter. He can threaten with submissions, but I do think he's going to have a hard time to get any set positions. And for Ulanbekov, I like his wrestling. I like his overall striking from the outside to at least get the clinch. And if those are the situations where the fight is fought under, I do like Ulanbekov to at least be the more controlling fighter between the two.
So I put the picture up there. This is going to be a flyweight, right? Because, listen, we've done videos like this, and then in the 11th hour at the start of fight week, they switch it, and it ends up at bantamweight or a different division. So you have proof. I have proof. So if anything changes, we'll let you know later on in the week. And this is definitely a question mark kicks fight. I'm going to boil it down this way. Ulanbekov minus 180, Maness plus 150. Tapology vote, surprise to us, they are to you. I'm going to say the fans, 75% over-under to Tagir Ulanbekov. I want to get this going
I think
quick.
it'll be over.
It's going to be over. It's under. 557 total votes. 61% Ulanbekov, 86% by decision. 39% Maness, 62% by decision. If this is at bantamweight, Nate Maness beats Tagir Ulanbekov.
I agree.
Ulanbekov is good with his takedowns. He doesn't do much with it. Once he gets you down, he holds position. His striking, I actually think it got better from the fight that he beat Alan Nascimento to the one that he lost to Tim Elliott. I know he gets dropped in the first round. He had nice 1-2s. He had nice leg kicks. It wasn't leg kick, reset, a lot of time. I thought Ulanbekov looked good, and I thought his cardio was decent. I thought he beat Tim Elliott. But this to say, Nate Maness is a much better striker. Nate Maness has better power. I talked shovel hook, and I thought it was Gravely. Gravely hit him, dropped him with a right hook in tight. It was Maness that landed that shovel hook that dropped Tony Gravely. Odd angle punches are his specialty. I like his kicks. I like his long range weapons. The volume with the power. I flipped my pen and caught it. You didn't see it. But the point is, I like Nate Maness in a lot of those areas in MMA, and I think he could win out in this fight. I need to see what the weight cut looks like. I need to see him at 125. With all of those question marks, and Ulanbekov going minus 500, minus 400, minus 235, at a minus 180, I think there's still a little bit of value there in Ulanbekov, but if it was at 35, I'd take Maness. It says it's not, so I have Ulanbekov. But guys, I do have a hard time with this, because without doing the research and just looking at it, I'm serious, guys. I was like, yeah, Nate Maness wins this fight.
Well, Craig, luckily you bring up question marks, and we have a show called Question Mark Kicks. It starts 2 hours before the first prelim, and it allows us to go back, give a chance to look over any fights that we've ever changed our opinion on because of the weight cut, because of anything that has come out during the week. So I agree with you. I also have Ulanbekov, but if anything has changed due to the weight because Maness has had a very extreme weight cut, maybe I will change my opinion by the end of the week, but for right now, I have Ulanbekov.
Both of us going with Tagir Ulanbekov, training with Usman Nurmagomedov. He's got a title fight coming up. Training with Islam Makhachev. Father's
Just
plan. Now champ. So let us know in the comment section. We need your help on this one. Who you have. The next fight. Josh Parisian, Chase Sherman. The next fight. Like, there's Neil Magny taking on Dana Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez, Amanda Lemos. Make sure you check out all of those videos. A like is definitely appreciated from the Fight Night Picks team. You're going to want to keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks. We always say, let's get into it.